We are on location once again at Heddington Oaks, and today we're going to be talking about rehab. A lot of folks might find themselves in a situation where mom or dad has had some hospitalization or surgery, or maybe taken a fall and broken something or had a joint replaced. But hospital care isn't what they need on the backside of that surgery. Once they're no longer able to stay in the hospital, Heddington Oaks is ready to receive them for their rehab. Yes. Caroline Newell is here with us to talk more about those rehab processes. Welcome to Living Well.
Thank you.
So what happens first? Depending on the type of surgery someone may have had, let's talk hip and joint replacements. What are their options when they're done with their hospitalization and they're ready for rehab and come to Heddington Oaks?
Usually when they are ready to discharge, they decide whether they're able to go home or need more help. So when they come here, we take them in, we evaluate what their abilities are, baseline levels, and then make a plan. They get evaluated by physical therapy, occupational therapy, and sometimes speech therapy, depending on their diagnosis. If they're really low level, we kind of set the plan out so many weeks out. If they're high level, then we plan on a shorter stay. So once we come up with that plan, then every day we provide treatment towards that.
Now let's say it's not a hip or knee replacement, or they've had a pacemaker put in and they're going to be a lot less mobile. What are the options there?
Same kind of options.
Okay.
Yeah, we just have to follow a little bit different precautions with pacemakers depending on what the surgeon says. So sometimes they're allowed to do certain activities and sometimes they're not.
Are there some patients that don't need overnight care that may come in for services during the day
We
only?
don't do that, actually. It's all overnight. It's all skilled level of care, and they usually stay here in our Medicare wing and when they are receiving the rehab.
What types of therapies do you provide? So how does someone actually get rehabilitated?
We work on strengthening for their arms or their legs. We work on just the ability to sit to stand from a chair to a walker. We work on the ability to roll in and out of bed. Sometimes, depending on the surgery, they can even roll over on their side, so we help them facilitate those movements. Working on walking, of course. That's the biggest thing. Most people, I want to be able to walk again. Sometimes we have to evaluate whether they need a walker, a cane, whether they need to stay at wheelchair level. And then the simple tasks of dressing themselves and bathing themselves. Occupational therapy goes through all of that with each individual. They use adaptive devices sometimes if needed. Sometimes they're able to do it without those adaptive devices. Speech therapy works on their ability to speak, write, communicate, and then also the swallowing if they have swallowing difficulties and need altered diets or anything of that nature.
And all of those things ultimately, hopefully, to get them back home and independently living.
Yeah, that's always our goal.
So what's your measure of success? How do you know when they're finally ready to do so?
When they're reached a level where their bodies are able to handle the tasks that they need to be able to do on their own at home. Sometimes people want to go home and they might need that little bit of extra help, and they go home with that little bit of extra help provided by either family or extra caregivers in the community.
And sometimes these situations can be emotionally stressful.
Yes,
you weren't planning for mom or dad to take a fall. You weren't planning for the surgery. Any words of advice or comfort for those who might be in search of a place like Heddington Oaks to get help for their family member? I
think everybody just needs to realize this is a destination point that's a temporary destination point for people to get better. So I try to tell that to all of my patients. You're here because you need our help. You can't manage on your own. And then just take it one day at a time. Don't have expectations that are, so far out like you used to be before this happened. Just take it one day at a time and see what you're able to do.
Some very good advice. Caroline Newell, Therapy Director here at Heddington Oaks. Thanks for being with us on Living Well. And thank you. Living Well. We'll be right back.